Joining us to give us more insight on the rationale behind the state government's action is the Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice in Ekiti State, Wale Fapohunda. Thank you, Mr. Wale Fapohunda, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell us why this is coming at this time? Is there a prevalence of lack of care of the children who are victims in the state?
Well, it's all part of, first you should know that our government has zero tolerance policy for all forms of sexual violence against women and children. So it's part of that policy that brought about in recent increase in sexual violence against children, particularly very young children. In fact, I'm talking about 2 months, 3 months, up to 7 years. And one of the challenges we had is that when they go to the hospital for treatment, the hospital either rejects them or, we get the medical report late to facilitate our prosecution. And that was becoming a problem. We were struggling to sustain a number of cases that we have instituted in alleged sex offenders. So the purpose of this law, essentially, number one, is to enforce immediate and free treatment for any child victim of sexual violence, while at the same time supporting our own prosecution. Because now we will have immediate access to the medical reports, which aids our prosecution.
Now, Mr. Fapohunda, against the backdrop of this protest against rape, how relevant is this law?
Oh, it's very relevant. Now, but we have in Ekiti State, we have adopted a broader approach. Now, we saw this coming before any other states. You should know that Ekiti State is the first state in the country to have established a register of sex offenders. And one of the things we did was to ensure that once a sex offender is convicted, we have the database. So we have the full details. In addition to that, we oppose bail. It is part state policy to oppose bail for offender. We also do engage in plea bargain negotiations with offenders, and we make sure that sex offenders in these states do not benefit from Mr. Governor's powers of prerogative of mercy. So once a sex offender is convicted, it can be sure that he will serve the maximum sentence. But, our approach all this while has been focusing on the offender. Once the offender is arrested, once the offender is prosecuted and sentenced, we don't give support to the victim. So we are trying to reverse the whole narrative to make sure that victims of sex offenders are placed at the heart of our criminal justice system. So this is one of the measures we have taken to ensure that we give victims a voice within the prosecution system.
Finally, how implementable are these laws, which over time, similar laws are not enforceable in the country?
Well, the law alone will not do it, and I accept that. We have, in Ekiti State, we have a pretty progressive violence. We are now reviewing our criminal code to provide stringent sentences for sex offenders. But I accept that it cannot just be about law. We have to do a lot more in terms of public awareness. In fact, as the governor said yesterday, one of the reasons why it seems that if this is because you don't have a large population of civil society speaking out against rape and child defilement. So we have a lot to do. On our part, we will prosecute, but we also understand that we have a lot to do in terms of engaging large parts of our population. Rape is rape. There is no other word for that, and it should be punished and properly prosecuted.
Mr. Wale Fapohunda, it's been a pleasure having you join us on the news. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.